There's moments in your life where you feel like you just hit a wall and you feel like you keep trying to go in this one direction, but it seems like it's not working. Sometimes that's just God rerouting you. Sometimes you're hitting the wall because God doesn't want you to go in that direction anymore. God wants you to take a shift into another direction. And a lot of times when we hit the wall, it hurts. A lot of times when we have been pushing to go towards one direction, it feels uncomfortable. But most of the time, it's just God redirecting you into a different arena, a different space. And you just have to be okay with not understanding. Sometimes you just have to be okay with not knowing the answers. Sometimes you just have to be okay with just trusting God to lead in your life. Because a lot of times we want to know why is things going left? Why isn't it going the right way? Why aren't things going the way that you had planned them? But a lot of times it's just God redirecting you, and most of the time he doesn't give you the direction that he is calling you to. Most of the time he doesn't tell you, this is the way I want you to go, this is the sport I want your child to play, this is the thing that I want you, this is the job that I want you to work at. And that's why it's important that you have to be still so you can listen for the direction that he is giving you. And sometimes he may not give you that direction. Sometimes he may just want you to be still and be in his presence and be okay with not having the answers. Be okay with not knowing which direction you're going. Sometimes you just have to be okay with the unknown. And a lot of times the unknown is very uncomfortable because we want to know. We want to know, is this situation going to work out? What is the end goal? Or is this job what God has for me? Are they going to call me back? Or is this home, am I going to get approved at this home? Am I, going to come out of debt? Or whatever it is that God is calling, or direction that God is speaking to you, you just have to trust. You just have to trust. Trust is just not a word. Trust is not just a word. Trust is an action. Trust is effort. Trust is just having faith even though you can't see where God is taking you. That's what trust looks like. And it seems like you're fighting just to belong. You're fighting just to find that niche. You're fighting just to find that purpose that God has called you to. And it seems like every time you make an effort, you end up hitting the wall. It feels like things are just falling apart again. It feels like you're failing again. And it just doesn't seem like it's working out for you. But you just have to be patient and know. You just have to trust and know that the plan is God's plan. It's never your plan. It's never the direction that you had planned. It's always the direction that God is planning for you. And a lot of times we want to know how to get there. We want to know, we want the GPS system, and you know how you click on the GPS and it gives you all the directions. You're going to turn on this highway. You're going to get off at exit so-and-so. And a lot of times with God, he just turns the GPS on and he'll give you one direction at a time. You won't be able to see the full layout. And sometimes you think you know a different direction. Oh, I can take this shortcut. And then you end up going to this shortcut and it ends up being a delay. Or you end up taking this shortcut and it ends up not being the direction that God is taking you. So sometimes you have to get clarity from God, because sometimes you may be going into an area that is not what God has for you. You may be going to an area that God is not planning on prospering you in that area, but because you want that arena so bad, you just have to learn to let go. For years, I'll say over 12 years, I've worked in culinary. I even created a cooking page. I even taught people how to cook. And for years, I just knew that was what God had for me. I knew that would be my way out, just cooking and doing personal chef. And then there was a year, I idolized this thing so much, as far as I thought that was my passion. I idolized it so much, and I end up losing my taste and smell from COVID, and I never fully recovered. And then I ended up losing the place that I was hosting the events at for cooking. And then I end up not being able to get a job in culinary again. And it was just like I kept hitting a wall with that. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe God is trying to redirect me. And he redirected into this, me being able to, him to be able to use me to speak to people. This was not my first choice. This was not my option. And even sometimes I'm like, Lord, you know, why did you choose me? Or not that I'm ungrateful, but sometimes I feel unworthy of it. Sometimes I feel like, you know, I really truly wanted to be, you know, the chef. And sometimes God will redirect you into another direction, but you never know. God may bring me back to cooking, but it may be a different part. Maybe he bring me back to cooking healthier meals and teaching people. I don't know. But right now, I don't have all the full direction, and I just got to take that one step at a time. So a lot of times, just focus on, you know, if you keep hitting a wall in an area, maybe that's just not what God has for you. As much as you had your hopes, as much as you had things revolved around it. I even got my LLC in culinary. I have a business, my LLC business in food. But sometimes you just got to stand back and just trust, because it ain't about you. It's not always about you. It's about what God wants to do in your life, and what he's gonna bring you through to get there, what direction he's gonna take you to get there, who he wants you to inspire, who he's gonna use you to be able to touch. So just stay focused, even though you feel like this is not the plan, or this is not what God has for you. You just gotta trust. It just may be God's way of redirecting you. All right, chosen champs, I hope you have a blessed and positive day. I love you guys. Just pray and ask God for clarity. Just talk to him and ask him for the direction that he is trying to take you, because it's very important. Peace.